Welcome, one and all, to the Rotary Club of Tulsa on this very, very special day. Visitor introductions today are by Luann Boulanger, and our invocation will be given by Kathy Gorell, and then we'll have something very special for you.
Will you join me in prayer? First, we thank you for the privilege of living in a country of peace, prosperity, and freedom. You have placed us in a city where so many business opportunities abound. We thank you for the many ways you have blessed us. But because we are so blessed, we are called to bless others. So we thank you for the many opportunities to serve through this club, through our churches, and many organizations. There are so many people who are so oppressed throughout the world, and we lift up the people specifically in Syria and Egypt and other countries of great unrest. We specifically pray for the Rotary clubs in Cairo that they might be a beacon of light in that city. Forgive us for our shortcomings and direct our thoughts, words, and actions that we might be your hands and feet here in Tulsa and beyond. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Next up, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then there will be a special presentation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please be seated. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. We're so happy to see all of our Rotarians and our guests today. Thank you so much for coming. Now's the time when we introduce our guests, so if you hear your name, please stand up for about 2 or 3 seconds so we can get a look at you and welcome you to our club. First up, Rotarian Phil Viles has brought Chuck Shipley. Welcome. Ron Butler is back, and he has brought his wife, Margaret Butler. Welcome. David Wagner is hosting William Pedranti. Welcome. John O'Connor is here with Jean Ann Hankins of the Ronald McDonald House. Dan Rogers has brought Eloise Rogers, his wife. Linda Bradshaw is hosting Joanne Frizzell and Alicia Brott. And Rhonda Renz has brought Alicia Herrera. Welcome. And for our visiting Rotarians, from Sapulpa, we have Judy Rothrock. Hi, Judy. From Sand Springs, we have Harlan Pinkerton. Hi, Harlan. And from Sunrise Rotary, we have past District Governor Tom Clark. Hi, Tom. Thank you so much, and come back again.
Thank you, Luann, and welcome to everyone. You know, this week marks the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom and of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech at the Lincoln Memorial. Our own Joseph Bias was there that day, and today he will share some memories and a song from that occasion. Joseph?
Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream today that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream today that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream today. I have a dream that my 4 little children one day will live in a nation where they will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. 50 years ago today, those words echoed from the Lincoln Memorial to the Washington Monument, where a sea of people from all races, ethnic backgrounds, blacks and whites together, listening to a prophetic voice of hope and the dream of a nation free from the tyranny of racism and injustice. And I was there, just a few feet from the reflecting pool, intermingling with people I did not know. Many, like me, had never sat down to a meal with a person of another race. But that day, we not only shared our food with one another, we shared a dream with the man who had profound words that still resound today in the hearts of men and women, young and old alike, who yearn for peace in their time, in our time. Of all that was done that day, all that was said, the one thing that had the greatest impact on me was joining in the music, the singing that seemed to enfold us all together as a garment. We heard the great Marian Anderson lead us in the national anthem, and Odetta sang, "Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free." Peter, Paul, and Mary were there, and they sang, "The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind." And there were many other great songs, but there were 2 songs that defined that day and the civil rights movement more than any other. The one, "We Shall Overcome," and this song, which for many years following made its way into the fabric of our American heritage. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that was tears has been watered. We have come treading a path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on our way, Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Something you may not know about Joseph, he also sang at Martin Luther King's funeral. So quite an honor. And, you know, we should have you come back sometime, Joseph, and tell us some more of your stories because, I don't know, that was very touching. Thank you. Back to some Rotary business after that. It's kind of hard to do. Our Rotary sponsors this week are Dave Moore, Tulsa Wealth Advisors, Raymond James, David Wolfers, James Potts and Wolfers, Inc., and we encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. Please thank all of today's sponsors and all our volunteers. And a list of committee meetings today: Club Foundation Trustees 233, IBA 232, Rotary Cares 107, Social Events, the back of Thomas Hall, Youth Exchange 234. And in announcements, I think Ron and Margaret, you already felt the love of everybody. We had to put a sign on Ron when he came in: no hugs, no handshakes. But we are so delighted that you are back with us today. Let's give him another round of applause. And our speaker on September 18th is going to be Oklahoma University President David Boren. So be sure to wear your red that day, Ed, as if I would have to remind you. We have adequate seating and food service, so in order to make sure we do, please fill out the forms on your table to make your advanced guest reservations. And Ed, there's some limit to how many you can bring. Just kidding. Okay. All right. Some business per the club's bylaws. We have some formal business to address. The proposed 2013-2014 budget's on your tables. It's been there for the last 2 weeks. Hopefully, if you had any questions, you were able to get a hold of the Budget Committee. So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the 2013-2014 budget as presented. Could I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? All right, the motion carries. Thank you all very much. And thank you so much to our Budget Committee. Monty, you guys did a great job. We have one new member to present today, and our own chief, Chuck Jordan. Please introduce our newest member, Darrell Webster.
Well, it's my honor and privilege to present our newest member, Darrell Webster. Darrell's Deputy Chief of Police with our police department. He served there for 26 years. He's one of the most important partners in my administrative team. It'll be a natural transition for him from police work to Rotary. He's in the business of community service, and he takes it very seriously. His first exposure to Rotary was through Leadership Tulsa. Daryl's Rotary goal is to develop and grow a community impact outside of the police department. His hobbies are hunting and bicycling. He's married to Bonnie, and they have 2 sons, Max, who is 4, and Declan, who is 2. I'm going to just add something. Daryl lives the 4-way test. He'll be a very welcome member and someone who will do nothing but increase our validity as a Rotary Club. So, having said that, I present to you our newest member, Daryl Webster. Uniform regulations prevent us from wearing our lapel pins. But I'm still going to present it to him so when he's in a suit he can wear it, and of course his 4-way test. Thank you all very much.
New member orientation was done by Hannibal Johnson. Thank you very much. And Daryl, we want to welcome you to our club. We've worked together before. I'm just so excited to know that you're going to be out here. After the meeting, if you two would leave just before the very end and go stand outside, Daryl, we'd let everybody come by and shake your hand, as many as possible, and say welcome. Thank you so much. And project announcements. Casey King, come on down and tell us about Business Visitation Day.
Thank you, President Karen. October 2nd, there will be no meeting here at the church because we have a group of amazing Rotarians that are going to host Business Visitation this year. On your table, we have the list of hosts and also sign-up sheets. So this is a chance for fellow Rotarians to go to somebody else's company, learn what their passions are, why they're in their business they're in, why they're a member of Rotary. So great opportunity. Once again, October 2nd, sign up. It's a first come, first served basis. So you'll put down your first choice and your second choice. We'll have these for the next couple weeks and then get everybody an email letting them know where their assignments are. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Casey. And Brenda Melancon, she's still selling MSNI raffle tickets.
Thank you, President Karen. And yes, we are still selling tickets. We'll be outside afterwards to allow you to purchase a winning ticket, let's say. As many of you know, MSNI's mission is to provide free medical equipment and supplies for those in need throughout the world. Your participation in this car raffle supports that effort. And I would be remiss not to mention Greg Keck. Every year, Greg negotiates with Larry the car we're going to sell and what we're going to promote, and then Larry and Greg work together to make that happen every year. So Greg, thank you for all you do for MSNI. You can see Ben Wyndham, Judge Peterson, or myself if you want tickets. And one last note, our next MSNI workday is September 21st at the warehouse. No need to worry about college football that Saturday. TU, OSU, and OU are off that day to allow you to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. I also have a special thank you to Greg Kick at the airport. I arrived yesterday, and I got a ride home in the coolest car. I've been trying to hail a cab, and I got this other ride that was much better. Thank you. Still need your dollars for our Cecilia Clinton Adopt-A-School. Terry Heritage would love to get a check from anybody that wants to help out. Terry will be out in the lobby afterwards. And in place of our Sergeant at Arms today, upcoming President Rhonda Renz, President-elect.
Thank you. Well, you can buy your tickets from Brenda, but I have the winning ticket. So go ahead and buy them, but I have the ticket. So I'll give you all a ride in my new car. Okay, our first one up is, not me, okay, Matt Davis, where are you? Where are you, Matt? Oh, shoot, okay. Well, isn't he adorable? Okay. He's adorable now, okay. No, he was caught, oops, and I'm Amina, okay. He was caught, by Janet, so she, let's see, Matt's 7th grade picture, payback for having the club sing Happy Birthday to me 2 years ago. So that's funny. Okay, next. Okay, Marcia Hawkins, paid $1,000 to the Rotary Club Foundation in honor of Stanley. So Rotarians are proud to embody service above self as Stanley did, and he did. So let's clap for that. Okay, John's story. John, where is everybody? Okay, John's story, he paid $200 for 24 years in Rotary, 61st birthday, and almost 33 years, I hope he makes it, 33 years of marriage to Julie, 2 kids and 4 grandkids with 1 on the way. So thank you, John. Our Princess of the Water Wheel Project, Brenda, she is paying $52 for her birthday, so happy birthday. And it's going to the Water Wheel Project. And next to her is Gene Martin. He paid $250 for his 58th birthday and not his 250th birthday, and she believes him. I do too. All right, TC, are you in the house? Formerly known as Tomcat. Isn't that what you told me? Okay. Tomcat paid. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry, TC. It's all good. I just asked him what it meant. Okay. $100. Happy birthday. Thank you. Brian, save me. Brian, okay. He paid $89 for 52 years of blessed life, 27 years of Camp Enterprise. Wow, that's huge. Congratulations on that. And he will be our chair in 2014 on Camp Enterprise. Bob Reed, $100 for 51 years in Rotary. That is amazing. Great job, Bob. And Dan Rogers, I know he's here because he has a guest with him today, celebrating his 90th birthday and 70 years, 11 months, and 2 weeks, good man, of marriage to the fabulous and beautiful Eloise. And Janet is paying $100 for Matt Sketch and his birthday, and Janet's birthday is on the 31st, so happy birthday, Janet, too. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Rondo. All right, I have a very special introduction of Matt Cleveland. He is our Rotarian of the Day, Business Development Manager for Advanced Research Chemical. He joined our club in February 2013, but he came to us from a Rotary club in Texas where he served as Vice President and a board member. He's got 2 beautiful kiddos, 7 and 3. He's on the road a lot, but he does love coming back here. So please welcome our Rotarian of the Day, Matt Cleveland.
Well, this is a real honor for me. Introducing my friend of 30 years, believe it or not, I met this gentleman, Sanjay Meshri, when we were 13 years old, 30 years ago this month at Edison Junior High School. So it is an honor, and amazingly, he's been friends with me ever since, which, Sanjay's a unique guy. He really, he's one of those rare people that I'm very fortunate to have met him at an early age and have watched him progress over the years. For Sanjay, it's just anything he touched, he did very well at. Athletics, sports, scholastics, except for the classes he took with me, he usually got B's in those classes. I like to distract Sanjay quite a bit. We actually enjoyed time together at University of Tulsa, where we went to school, and he ended up finishing there with a chemical engineering degree, and went on to work with his dad in the chemical business, which he's been devoted to for over 20 years. He's got 3 wonderful children, beautiful girls, Bella, Dea, and Madeline, and his beautiful wife, Julie, who he's been married to. Got married in this church, actually, 17 years ago. So, and many of you know Sanjay, and I know a lot about Sanjay. I think he's a little nervous right now because he's thinking I might say a couple of things that from his past, and Anyway, I won't embarrass him at this point, and I could go on and on talking about him, but I will tell you it's a story I just wanted to share with this Rotary Club. Rotary means a lot to me, and I thought bringing Sanjay here and making him uncomfortable and making him talk about himself, which he doesn't like to do, is fun for me, but fun for everybody else too, because the story really of the Meshri family is quite, it's the American dream story really. His mother came over from India. They worked very, very hard, both PhDs. His sister's a PhD. I think Sanjay's the only one in his family without a PhD, but they worked hard for it. They really did. And his parents are just wonderful people. His mom was like a second mother to me. His dad has always been good to me. And it's just a unique experience that the two of them have grown a business together from very humble beginnings. His father was 58 when he started the company. I remember driving out there as a teenager and witnessing a 2,000 square foot building that he, at age 58, took a loan out with two kids in college to start. And very soon after that, his son joined him, working very hard and tirelessly to grow that business. And amazingly, Sanjay has time to do so many other things for this community. He is president of OCCJ. He devotes himself to a group called the Folds of Honor. He's a board member at the University of Tulsa. But his work in the Folds of Honor is unique. It's something that he got started with early on, and he's still an active member, but that group actually gives back to military families and scholarship money to children of people that have served in the military, have been either injured or have unfortunately died. And he was fortunate enough to spend a afternoon with President Bush because of this foundation. And after learning his story and asking Sanjay about his family and his heritage and how he was brought up here in the United States, he said, really, your story makes me proud to be an American. And I'm proud that he's my friend, and I'll introduce Sanjay right now, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt, and it's such an honor to be here. I'm glad he didn't get into too many stories. We do have the chief here, and we might get walked away with cuffs on. So, no, we've had such an exciting childhood together, and it's kind of interesting because I think through the eyes of a child you learn a lot. And when we go back, I think that Matt never looked at me as being foreign or different. He looked at me as a friend, and we're great friends. He had to say a lot of nice things. We work together now, so that's what saved me. When I talked to Dr. Simon about coming here, I didn't really feel that it was going to be good enough for a group like this. I mean, this is such a neat group, the little bit I know, and I was very, very honored to be asked to do that. And we talked about kind of splitting time, so I'm going to talk about OCCJ for a few minutes and tell you a little bit about the organization. There's a few board members here. There's some people that have helped OCCJ so much, so I'm so appreciative of you being here. And I'll just tell you a little bit about OCCJ, and then I'm going to talk to you about our company and how lucky we are to be Americans and in Oklahoma. OCCJ, I'm finishing my 2-year term as a chairman, and so in December I'll finish my term. And it's a pretty interesting organization. It's really run by a very small group of people. There's a staff of 5. It's the volunteers that really make OCCJ work. And I'm going to go a little backward in history. OCCJ was actually, NCCJ, which was the National Conference of Christian and Jews, and then it became the National Conference of Community and Justice. And so OCCJ really starts in 2005 because it had to change its name and it had chapter issues. And it wasn't just this chapter, but nationally, the national chapter had some massive problems, financial problems and so forth. But in 2005, that was the year I learned about OCCJ through an attorney that was representing us at the chemical company known as Oliver Howard. And Oliver was able to, when we talk about talented Oklahomans, he was able to convince the chapter, the national chapter, that they were going to keep the name and open as Oklahoma Conference for Community and Justice. And there was a group of people before me that they just did such an incredible job of keeping things alive, keeping programs alive, keeping funding alive. But just to tell you a little bit about it, it was as small as like 2 people, 2 paid people to run the organization. And I got to watch Oliver deal with some issues as he was handling our case. In his breaks, he would make phone calls and talk to other attorneys and people in the community about what to do with OCCJ, and it was a very, very enlightening experience. I'm just going to tell you a little bit backwards. So in 2005, they saved the chapter. Many, many cities could not save their chapter, and Oklahoma City had lost theirs about 2 years before. Many, many challenges existed. Today around the country, I think there's about 16 or 17 chapters of this, and they're kind of in a hybrid format. It's been around in Oklahoma for 50 years, and I think the reason that's so important is that, sadly, I think we get labeled as Oklahomans. Until someone comes here, they don't realize how pretty it is. Until someone comes here, they don't realize that there is diversity here. Until you participate in the community, you don't realize how strong this community is. And interestingly enough, oftentimes when you leave here, we have a lot of visitors that come from all over the world, and they like it, and they like to come back. And so I just want to thank you, because I think that's what makes us the biggest difference, and I think that's why my family is so ingrained here. OCCJ is led by an executive director named Nancy Day, and she has been there for a little over 30 years, and this year she's retiring. So we will have challenges. Today, it has 16 programs, and it operates on a $500,000 budget. It's benefited over 16,000 people throughout the year, and it has 3 main focuses: education, advocacy, and dialogue. And in education, they start with a 2nd grade program. They have a new program for 4th and 5th graders, a newer program for 9th graders, and a newer program for high school. Honestly, the vision is to end prejudices really in our lives. We talk about racism in other areas, but it's really prejudices. And it's fascinating because NCCJ started in 1927 because Al Smith, who was a presidential candidate, he was Catholic, and there hadn't been a Catholic president. And so it shows you that, and like Karen mentioned, today is a pretty special day. There has been progress in our country and our community. There is always work to do, but there has been progress. To me, just the idea of not being able to run for an office because of a religious preference doesn't make sense. But at the time, that's just the way it was. So through good, peaceful change, it changed. So I went a little backward in history, and I'll just now go forward and talk to you about some of our new areas of concern. And these are things that I didn't really understand, and it is somewhat generational, but I'm learning, especially with a teenager and another daughter about to turn a teenager, how little I really know. Bullying is one of our main areas of focus, and it's become a much bigger issue than I imagined. And I didn't think like this, but through texting, you can be bullied almost 24/7, where in the past, if you were bullied, it was usually face-to-face, and then you had a break, hopefully, if you got to go home. And I'm not blaming it, but because of some of these issues, we do believe we see an increase in suicide rates. There was one stat that 11 children in Oklahoma had taken their life, by February of the new year. And that's just not right, and if we can help that, we will. One of the things the OCCJ did was they worked with the Schusterman family's financial support. They brought Lee Hershen, who was the director of a film called Bully, and if you haven't seen the film, it's a really difficult film to watch, very difficult film to watch, in the fact that two of the young people in the film are posthumous. I mean, you're looking at them, and in the beginning of the film, and I won't ruin it, but you see a coffin going in the ground, and sadly, that coffin was a young boy in Oklahoma. 2 of the 5 children in the film, one living and one that's passed away, they're from Oklahoma. And so it was very touching to me, and that became kind of maybe a deeper passion that I had about OCCJ. It was a deeper passion for me personally to try to help make that different any way I could. And so I've kind of learned that, how important it is to stand up for what's right, or sometimes someone says something, and as adults we do it too, You'll hear someone say something negative, and you leave there thinking, that probably shouldn't have been said. And I think there's a peaceful way to sometimes pull someone aside and say, that was a harsh comment, or that was a comment that stereotypes in some ways. So I think we have to do that too. My kids, it's almost like if I tell them to do something and they see me do it wrong, they love that because they resonate with that. And they'll say, Dad, but you didn't do that like you said. And then I have to go back and really check in with myself and say, you're right, I'm going to fix it. And I think as adults, we have to kind of keep doing the same thing, keep working on being better. I think OCJ does a great job of showing love for all people, and I really mean all. I think all have become such an important topic. And I will tell you a couple things. We are working in Oklahoma City now. The new leader that will replace me, God bless him, I want him to have protection all the time. I don't want anything to happen to him, is a gentleman by the name of Russ Florence, and he is the president of Schnocky Turnbow Frank. Really a lovely human being. He has an office in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and he is actually he lives in Oklahoma City now. And so the organization is actually, we call it the Oklahoma Conference Center, but we've really been working in northeastern Oklahoma, in Tulsa. So we're still going to be headquartered here, but we've been going back and forth to Oklahoma City, and we see some great things with Robert Henry and resurrecting Oklahoma City. So we're going to try to grow the chapter and really be Oklahoma instead of just Tulsa. As Karen mentioned, today's the 50th anniversary, and I thought the songs from Joseph Bias were just lovely. I've been blessed to be at this church several times, and what an incredible voice and what incredible meaning. So, my goodness. And I wrote down, too, that there's something really neat. I think today at 3 o'clock downtown, I believe all the churches will ring their bells around 3 o'clock, and there's supposed to be some symbolism with the time, maybe, of the speech that was in D.C. And I love that there's so much in that speech. And when you look at the speeches and the ones that are really remembered, you think how progressive he was and his dream to do certain things. But to be known for the content of your character versus anything else in your life, what a wonderful thing. So I just wanted to say, like Rotary, OCCJ has integrity, and it works on building the community, and it's its large focus. And I appreciate what Rotary does for the community. Well, if it's okay, I'm going to switch gears and talk about our business. As Matt mentioned, we are just so blessed. We're definitely living the American dream, and we realize that dream is so important to protect it and work hard for it. Dad started the company in 1987. There were just two people, and it was a fluoride-based company. And most people think of toothpaste and things like that when you think of fluoride. And that is very true. But there are many different states of fluorides. There's gas, liquids, and solids. And so we make all those states. We make gases, liquids, and solids. And his goal was he was a PhD, a research scientist. And he wanted to make the hard stuff, hard to make, complicated to make. And that's what challenged him. But he wanted to service customers better, and he wanted to work for himself. And like Matt mentioned, he wasn't so young when he started, but he is so young at heart. If you've met him, I tease him that I will clearly retire before him. There's no question. And Matt clearly pointed out too, I really didn't get his smarts. I am the only one without the super degree in the family, and I don't have his energy either. But I've definitely been blessed to get his work ethic, and so he definitely trained me well. Two people started the company. And it was a dream. It was a dream, and it was a big challenge. It's a very difficult business to start. You can imagine today, there's permits, there's so many things that you maintain. There's regulatory people at the facility at all times almost, different ways, checking, auditing, and so forth. My mom worked at Amoco at the time. It's now the OU Schusterman Center, but she was really smart. She had her master's in chemistry by the time she was 22. And they didn't know about life insurance, and they had these two kids, and so she went to work. And then she put herself through and got her PhD at TU in geology, and she became what's known as a geochemist. And because she did so well, my dad was able to cash in his 401k and everything and start the business. And she provided for the family and put us through college and did all that. And they were truly, truly a team that I'd never seen. And their marriage was actually arranged. So it's interesting that the love was actually formed, you know, really through the process. And it's interesting to think like that love is kind of formed through a process. I mean, even today, if you want a better relationship, it's important to work through it. If you want a better business, you have to really show some form of empathy and love and hard work to get there, and they did that very well together. I was very lucky to get the opportunity to work for Dad. I will tell you that I worked for Amoco for 4 summers and was gonna go to Chocolate Bayou, Louisiana. That's a real place, and work in a polypropylene plant. And so I was looking forward to it. And my dad gave me half of my best job offer, and I took it in a heartbeat. And my goodness, I would never regret it. I was so excited to work for him. But his line was, your mom kind of likes you, and you don't know anything, but I guess you can stay at the house and work. And so I took it. I think he may have some regrets, but I take it. So I feel very lucky to have this father-son team. I absolutely love my dad. He gets kinder as time goes on, and he's very wise for sure. And I always learn something from him. So when I joined, my dad was working on a project at the time for General Motors, and we all know what an important company that's been to our country and so forth. And he was working on aluminum radiators, a new product for aluminum radiators. And it was wild because there were just 5 or 6 people there, and we were competing against a multi-billion-dollar company. And we did win that contract, and we started building a plant. And my dad put me in charge of that plant. He definitely knew how to work me, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I got to work weekends, and he caught me welding one time, and it was an awful weld. I developed a great talent, appreciation for the talent of welders. But he still laughs and tells the story that he saw me welding on some sawhorses. It was nothing critical. Please don't worry. But we had to buy used equipment, and you know, it was really hard. Everything was about saving and buying, and how do you do it? And I would rent trucks from Not New Truck Rental and go down to Stroud and pick up a motor. And the things I learned from people at my work and still continue to learn are just been such a valuable thing in my life. But advanced research chemicals started to grow, and the milestones really, really started to happen. And they say that the harder you work, the luckier you get, and we've been really blessed to have that. And Dad's kind of explained to me that in India, sometimes you don't get those opportunities. I mean, you can work really hard, but then something gets taken away. And so in a country and in a state where things are fair and people help you, it's amazing what you can achieve. Things got better and better. We actually ended up selling the plant that I built for him in 1995. We sold it to our large competitor. And you'll be happy to know we bought it back last year for a fraction of what we sold it for. And it's been, so we have 4 plants in Oklahoma now, but it's been fixed up and it is just state of the art, so we'd love to show it. So ever since 1995, the company's really been able to be debt-free. And that's really hard to do, to keep growing and be debt-free and pay the taxes and do everything. But that's a big goal of ours, and we're going to try to maintain it like that. Quickly, I will tell you about our growth steps. Our growth steps are we have these 4 plants here. We're now on 20 acres. The plants all make very different products, stuff that go into your iPhone, semiconductors, Wii, PlayStation, Xbox. There's a lot of products. We recently did a small acquisition, and we'll be going into retail products, so we'll actually have a label on some bottles. We have 3 products going into Walmart. I'm amazed at the power of Walmart. I know we know it, but on the supplier side, they make you work, they make you think, and I was so happy to see and read, as you probably did, that Made in America is coming back as one of their primary goals. We have 2 foreign plants, one in Monterrey, Mexico, which makes coatings that go on like the outside of Coors beer cans. They're called metal inks or photo initiators. They light cure. That was a project. He sent me down there for 3 months. I love him for that, but it was a great experience. It really was a great experience. So, and the plant in India makes stain-resistant carpet materials. So it's the newest of our plants. So that's kind of about the business. We do have plans to double in size. Our efforts in Oklahoma will continue to grow. Our investment in Oklahoma will continue to grow. We're trying to figure out what we're good at, where we belong, and why we do it. And we do it because we really love our work and we love being here. Oklahoma and the impact it's had on us and our community has just been wonderful. we enjoy it tremendously, and we love the visitors we get. The business is a blessing, and I'm so glad that my dad started it, and I'm so glad that he's still there. So I just appreciate the opportunity to share it with you, and thank you so much. Thank you for what you do in the community, and I'm honored to have gotten to speak to you today. Thank you.
A couple of other things about Sanjay. He supports Camp Enterprise, and in fact, his wife Julie admitted to him that she took part in Camp Enterprise, correct? Little known fact there. Also, his dad will be honored at the Global Vision Awards at the same time that our club, our international projects, are being honored. And so we've got those tickets out back. We'd love to have a big showing from our club, but you'll get to find out why when he talks about his dad, he gets a sparkle in his eye, because he's an incredible soul, and you will feel it and understand it. We should have had him here today. But thank you so much for speaking. And also, their family created a beautiful garden at 31st and Peoria in honor of Sanjay's mother. And I live in that area, so it's such a blessing, and I thank you for that. Okay, we do have a book for you. It's called The Price of Freedom. Forgot my prop. If you would sign that would be great. And that goes to our partner in education school, Celia Clinton. Upcoming programs: September 4th, Stuart Solomon, the President and COO of Public Service Company of Oklahoma, and a preview of the incredible concert that's coming up with Sam Adler. And September 11th, Carrie Vincent, a cake designer, Food Network Challenge judge, and master sugar artist. Now, you guys, she is very colorful. She was featured on CBS 60 Minutes, so you will get a kick out of her. But I will not guarantee what comes out of her mouth, and I apologize in advance of that. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about our mystery Rotarian. Oh boy. Our mystery Rotarian joined band and started playing trumpet in the 6th grade because his grandfather was a fellow Rotarian and his inspiration. He served in the Trojan Pride Marching Band, and our mystery Rotarian performed at 4 state championship games. He went on to OU, and he was in the 100th anniversary Pride of Oklahoma 2004. Now, perhaps the crowning glory was, check out the cheerleader shots of old John Rothrock. He was one big hit. Look at him. John, stand up back here. Okay, let's hear it. Oh, yeah, look at that. Hey, John.
Excuse me.
When President Boren is here, I think you should come back and do that to close the meeting. I'm serious. It was all right.
Hold on.
Yes.
I need $100 for that, please.
Very well done. And on that note, I will close this meeting. See you guys next week. Thank you so much.